Is there a sea? What is the sea between
It
Ireland
depends on
and
which
England?
side you're on. You know, you have like the Oxford Road, but if you're the other end, it's the bamboo road or whatever. You know. Depends
Well,
which
whatever.
end you
Anyway,
are.
they come over from Ireland. They bring fire with them. They bring all the attitude you could possibly want. And our man Peter Deane, in this bantamweight tilt, is gonna hopefully bring some more of that thunder.
The Irish Killers. Very excited about this one.
Isn't that kid really young too? He's had a couple fights where he's just overmatched. They gotta give him somebody younger.
So much power.
He sent his head into man. His brain is.
No matter whether it's a minute, 2 minutes, 1 second, it's done.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, there was 4 seconds. Could have let it go. No, he was done. And like, he's not going to recover in a minute.
The pale-bodied Irish standout. To be sure. Is that racist? Feels a bit racist.
Oh, not at all. Just it is racial.
Myles Richards.
Myles Richards from UTC. Do you remember the
Ultimate
last fighter
Training Center.
we had from UTC? A certain Fabian Edwards.
Was he from UTC?
He was.
Wow. He's
Pretty
quite a
monster team.
a monster team with a monster crop right in Birmingham.
I haven't been there in a long time. I know they used to have Mark Goddard, Vaughan Lee,
Jesus.
Paul Taylor.
I moved to the wrong part of England when I came here.
They had Bisping there for a little while. I think.
Here
But-
we go.
I mean, it's one of the UK's top facilities. You have so much equipment there. You have and 2 different, well, I think 3 different mats now. So there can be 3 different classes going on. So you can stick all the pros together. You know, they're not stuck doing rounds with a 16-year-old that's half their weight. They can focus on their training, get ready for these high-level fights. Got Vaughan Lee in his corner. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. Vaughn Lee. Vaughn Love Lee. Vaughn Buddha Lee. He's the absolute legend of UK MMA. Submitted, I was just reminded of this a little while ago. Submitted Kim Yamamoto with an
everyone
armbar.
forgets that.
Brilliantly.
I remember watching that live, and he was a huge underdog in that fight. I think I
know. I was like, oh man, Sam's training partner's gonna get knocked out, and then he just armbarred him pretty well. That's the saying now. There we go.
How dare you
Oh, we've
swear.
seen Myles Richards before. He's an absolute
Extreme
animal.
violence, fine. Don't swear though.
Weighing 60.3 kilograms. Representing Cooper's MMA, Peter Deane. And his opponent, the fighter in the red corner, weighing 61.2 kilograms. This fighter is an independent fighter. Please make some noise for Myles Richards. The referee in charge, Mr. Paul Nichols.
Peter Deane in the
Black with white trim.
black with white trim, blue gloves.
Myles Richards with black with white trim. Nice. Let's go.
Well, Myles has got red gloves.
Look
It
at they
makes
gotta
it
tell.
easier.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Peter Deane's got to be told to back up. He wants it so bad. It's gonna be awesome. Got to mention that this fight has been brought to you by Viking Warrior Nutrition. Go to vikingwarriornutrition.co.uk for all your Viking needs. Why eat like a man when you could eat like one of these Vikings? And honestly, no feeling out process between these two.
This is interesting. Both guys, similar strategy, just trying to flinch. Some little feints going.
Eager to land first, I think.
Southpaw versus Orthodox. Myles, good pressure up against the cage. Because Peter, he's tall. It's hard to wrestle against the cage when you're tall. I know certain people, John Jones does it so beautifully well, but
Well, you see the way Jones leads with his chest rather than his head,
Yeah.
like shorter fighters. But getting a good look here from Myles Richards as he looks for the. Oh, good trip.
and we know the Cooper's guys have got good jiu-jitsu. Will Myles be able to
Definitely.
pass this half guard?
And those haircuts from Chop Chop, they help. They up your jiu-jitsu game.
Well, looking good helps.
Honestly, I reckon why there's no stripes on my purple belt. I haven't had a fresh haircut yet.
Now, Steve, in MMA, do you think it's worth trying to pass the half, or do you just lock down your own legs, Randy Couture style, and try and land some ground and pound?
I go for the latter usually, but honestly now if you can pass as easily as most people could pass in MMA,
Oh, good job by Peter to get back to full guard.
You should be passing because right now your head's on the chest of Peter Deane. You can already tell by him opening his guard and getting the foot on the hip, he's looking to make some problems for you on the ground. So getting past that would help.
If I'm in Peter Deane's position there, see, instantly got drove against the fence. That would be my number one concern, would be to shimmy over, move away from the fence, and then start looking for angles of submissions. And people just seem to forget that.
That's the thing. Myles Richards coached at a very high level, right? There's lots of guys in his gym at UTC who have fought on the highest level, right? So they know that this is good cagecraft. Unfortunately, he's got the guy in his own corner, but he's using his head increasingly well to drive Peter Deane's head into those uncomfortable bars of the fence, and every once in a while pop up with a punch, like he did right there.
Just got to watch Peter Deane. He's clearly got some submission skills. Hips constantly moving, looking for angles.
And we've seen this earlier tonight, didn't we? He's just got to go for the underhook of the leg.
See, some people watch MMA and they don't find this interesting. They just want to see stand-up and brawling, but I love this little chess match, especially with the cage. It makes it so much more interesting because Peter's got to get an angle, and that I always think is a waste of energy. Peter's trying to ground and pound from the bottom, and sometimes there's a little opportunity if you've got some good rubber guard or positional control, but generally Peter needs to improve this position, maybe feet on the hips, push him away, look to work a high guard, maybe an armbar or a triangle. He's got to try and be active here. Because his head is against the cage, I would always be, especially that postured up position, I would just feet on the hips and boot him away.
Yeah, earlier on we had an armbar from one of our fighters being pressed up against the cage, and he just had the underhook of the leg, which I think would help Peter Deane a lot more. But here we've probably got one round of Myles Richards going in there. He looks very cool, calm, and collected. These 135-pound fighters, they can just go, can't they, Chris?
That's the thing, they don't get tired. You know, at that lighter weight, you're moving less mass around, so you can keep going for several rounds, and it can make it exciting. Sometimes we have the heavyweights, and it's really exciting for the first 30 seconds, and then it's, essentially two fat guys leaning on each other for 15 minutes. And some people are into that. Steve.
Yep. Oh dear. But yeah, we won't see that here tonight. Not in this fight, anyway.
I don't think we've got any heavyweights on this card, Steve.
Oh, gutted.
They're always quite fun, the heavyweight.
I always love it. That's because they always knock each other out.
Well, small gloves and big bodies is a good combination. Unless you're in the cage.
We'll see how Peter Deane has
I like the fact
taken the
Peter
instruction. What's
fixed
his new
hair
Did he fix his hair? Good.
Yeah, his corner walked out and he looked at the screen and then fixed his hair.
That's what happens when you get your hair cut from Chop Chop. It's so good, you want to make sure it's nice. Backing him down, inside leg kick, and then we see Myles Richards coming back. This is going to be a tough fight for Peter Deane. I think Myles Richards has established himself in the mind of Peter Deane. You see single shots coming up by Deane, glancing off the gloves.
Like to see him now fake that kick and then come in with some punches.
Watch Myles Richards, he's setting something up. He's got the confidence now. There you go, that was left hand. Legs, boom, boom.
Ooh.
Working it to the clinch, very controlled from Myles Richards. Not the worst tactic.
Climbing for a guillotine.
Yeah.
Brave.
Good posturing there. Myles Richards momentarily, but then he drops for the double.
How is Peter Deane's
Fortunately, Peter Deane's got the arm over. It's going to be very hard to finish from there. Like nigh impossible.
You've got to let go and try and walk up that cage.
Posting his hand down, he's got to come right up on that hand if he wants to start getting his hips under him. But I think
he looked for it.
Oh, Myles Richards almost has had the option for the body lock there.
We see again, just like the first round, Peter Deane's done a good job of getting back to guard. And he's got very active guards, open, close, looking for angles, but once again his head is pressed up. And this goes to show the fight IQ of Myles. He's pressing Peter up against the cage the whole time. And it just makes Peter have to work so much harder.
Holding the European title at 135.
Myles landing 5 or 6 big shots there. Peter gave us his back to because he was eating so many punches.
Give
Both
his back.
hooks in.
Is he under the chin?
Oh,
Seems to be.
he's
I think he is.
turning in, he's trying to turn in. He's trying to fight the
And
arms.
that's the difference. There's a fight I want to see now.
Peter is quite on his
That's
side.
good.
He's turning towards him.
Oh,
Excellent
very
defense.
very clever from Myles Richards as well to come back on top, to not keep the choke for too long.
That's the thing. You can't overcommit to these submissions. You have to realize when it's going to work, when it's not going to work, and then let go of it.
Wow, this is an exhausting round for Peter Deane. He's been smothered almost in every single position since halfway through the first.
It's not good to be on the bottom of the mount. He's trying to wrap that arm for a bridge and roll, but the problem is the cage is this side.
The time is definitely wearing on in the second round. Can Peter Deane reverse the position, improve it?
This could be a problem in training. Sometimes you like one side more than the other, so you tend to rep one side. Then you get in the cage, and all of a sudden the cage is on the side you want.
Exactly, it shuts you down. Oh, he was so close there. He's obviously a strong lad, is Peter Deane, but Myles Richards just peppering away here at the end of the second. He's done so much. He's done so much to win that round and put so much of a hurting on Peter Deane. This is where his conditioning is going to come in. Man, I'm really getting into this. I'm really getting into this fight. This is an excellent fight.
Myles, 2 rounds up though. It's all on Peter in this last round. What do you think a corner should say? I've always been...
I just think it's funny that there were smiles from the corner man over there at Cooper's MMA. They're smiling over there. They know that they've come to fight, and now it's, this is where you want to be. Third round, you're down. You got to dig deep. You've got to have something in there to pull out. You've got to have confidence in something else. And go a different way.
Irish teams, every round you get through, you're closer to the drink at the end.
That might be racist.
But accurate.
Okay. But they... Are we back? I think we are. Lovely. There we go. Body lock there from Myles Richards. Daniel Deane having done...
Sorry about that gap in the commentary. Slight technical issue.
The knee lands up from Peter Deane, but has he... He's inching himself out of position with Myles Richards. I think Myles Richards is going to lock low and look for the double. Keeps doing that.
It's the arm in position. He's got to try and get his left arm to the other side of Myles' arm, and then he'll be able to drop for that guillotine. And I think he really wants it, but it's just the wrong thing to do with your legs in that position.
He lands a stiff knee there.
He needs it. If he
there
wants
you
to
go.
play.
There you go.
That's better.
Now he's got to pull.
That's better.
That's it. Now he's got to squeeze for all of his life. Come on.
Oh, he got slammed.
Oh, he let go.
Did he lose it?
I think so.
Oh, no.
Darn it.
Old school escaping, just dropping
That was good,
someone.
though.
Sometimes it can make it worse because you get dropped. And
good work from Myles Richards, right? Keeping his composure.
Yep. Occasionally, you try and slam out of a submission. It actually makes it tighter.
So much worse sometimes.
Yep. It's a brave move. This is the story of the fight. Myles on top, really being able to control it. Peter on the bottom, constantly different angles. I think he's probably got really good jiu-jitsu, but just because his head is pressed, you can't move right when your neck is bent. Now, if you try and lift something heavy with your neck bent over, you just got no strength. Your body's in the wrong position. Your spine's in the wrong position.
Yeah, exactly. This has been the tale of a top game, really.
And sometimes sometimes, you know, it's very expensive to have a cage or panels even on the wall, and sometimes gyms just don't have the equipment to get these rounds after rounds of cage craft and working against the wall. And I think that is the one big thing I say to any amateur that's thinking about having
Big ground and pound landing from Myles Richards.
It's all hitting the forearms and the gloves.
Yeah.
Peter's very active from the bottom, just not getting
As
enough.
time runs out, just a very, very good contest, but as I said, the tail of the top game. Myles Richards comes out on top of that one. Very good activity, though, from Peter Deane. Trying to work from the bottom, still staying in there. Intense.
Myles made that look quite easy. For good pressure. Easily got the takedowns every time.
Almost had the back there, almost had the choke, but just very good defense from Peter Deane. Really good representation of mixed martial arts there for everyone at home. Back and forth, but
That makes me bloodthirsty, but whatever.
So after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecard. And we have your winner via unanimous decision for the fighter in the red corner, Myles Richards.
They better start cranking these fucking
And please make some noise for our runner-up, Peter Deane.